appropriate in this setting, given the recent media focus and the concerns raised to me by members of this committee, to talk briefly about the use of alcohol within the force. Although I cannot comment on specific incidents because of ongoing internal investigations and pending adjudications that involve decisions and interventions on my part, I can tell you that we experienced a disturbing spike in off-duty alcohol-related events, to include DWI, domestic violence and disorderly offenses, during the period 2007 through 2009. DWI involved about a third of those offenses. This is not just a state police issue. In the law enforcement community nationally, alcoholism and divorce occur with significantly greater frequency than in many other professions. Like any other police executive, I remain concerned about what job-related pressures and stresses might facilitate substance abuse. You will hear at the end of this statement evidence of on-duty productivity, but what we see and do on a daily basis and how we are expected to absorb, to maintain our demeanor and effectively ply our trade takes its toll on some of us more than others. What you haven't read about is that in late 2009, our command staff went to work crafting a set of tighter protocols and guidelines. Those protocols provided clear-cut sanctions up to and including termination and mandated treatment and rehabilitation. Our three unions joined me and every other commander in delivering a strong message on alcohol abuse. These protocols were shown to be effective, although the numbers were very small given the size of our enlisted ranks. After implementing these new rules, alcohol-related incidents of all types dropped 77% in 2010 compared to 2009. We are continuing to trend downward with only one incident in the first 6 months of 2011. More recently, I added the response by an officer at the rank of captain or higher to the scene of a trooper-involved alcohol-related arrest. This will not only keep me and pertinent commanders informed in real time, but will assure that other police departments, if needed, have a high-ranking point of contact and counsel. I have also asked my investigations commander to review our standing procedures and tighten up the process of notification when duly authorized fictitious identification is displayed by a detective during any law enforcement contact. Aside from sanctions and penalties that represent a reactive remedy, we have been concentrating more and more on prevention through self-assessment and peer recognition, intervention and counseling through our medical mediator and employee assistance programs. These programs carry a measure of confidentiality to be effective, but they are effective. As an organization, we are doing our best to stay out front on a specific issue that plagues law enforcement in general. Now that I've spoken about that reality, let me close these remarks with a snapshot of 2010 and some things about our day-to-day operations that I'm sure the public is not aware of. In our Camden and Irvington initiatives, 464 investigations in 2010 led to more than 1,000 arrests on a variety of charges to include attempted murder, aggravated assault, unlawful possession of a weapon, narcotics, and outstanding arrest warrants. More than 60 guns to include assault weaponry were removed from the streets. On the Garden State Parkway, aid to stranded motorists increased 18%, enforcement actions increased by 43%, and arrests for DWI increased 28%. On the New Jersey Turnpike, accidents decreased by 15%, with fatal accidents dropping by 27%. DWI arrests increased by 25%, and there were 10% more motor vehicle stops than over the previous year. This is the outcome of our adoption of intelligence-led policing, intensive data gathering analysis, along with a proactive approach to traffic enforcement. Statewide, our patrol force conducted 540,000 motor vehicle stops, helped 119,000 motorists, answered almost 600,000 calls for service, investigated 42,000 motor vehicle accidents, made 6,000 DWI arrests, and 17,000 other patrol-related arrests. We issued 304,000 summonses and 157,000 warnings. In 2010, in support to ourselves and all law enforcement in the state, we deployed arson bomb personnel 452 times. K-9 deployed to almost 10,000 requests for assistance. Our regional teams units, those are our tactical emergency and mission specialists, conducted almost 1,000 felony entries, dive missions, barricaded subject jobs, and homeland security missions. Our helicopters flew more than 6,400 missions, 1,500 of which were for medical assistance in events where there were life-threatening injuries. In April of this year, more than 600 troopers were deployed to hold the lines between several hundred pro-Nazi demonstrators and counter-protesters in front of this State House. This annual national meeting in protest of the National Socialist Movement was a highly distasteful event for us to have to monitor, but we are aware of this event's history of significant violence and injuries where it had been held in other cities across the country. Aside from 2 injuries to our troopers who took a spill from their patrol bicycles in the pouring rain, both sides were given the opportunity to exercise their First Amendment rights without injuring, incident or injury to either group. Just last week, the state police and New Jersey National Guard hosted 10,000 Boy Scouts and Scout leaders as part of the 3rd Boy Scout Camporee held at our academy site in Seagirt. They watched demonstrations of state police tactical and patrol operations, interacted with more than 60 troopers who themselves had attained the rank of Eagle Scout, earned merit badges, and took part in joining the state police and state adjutant general, Major General Glenn Reith and his command staff, in paying respect to the largest gathering ever held of the Gold Star Mothers, an organization of mothers and families who have lost a son or a daughter in the service of our country.